Hi, in this program I want to cover how to enter elevation details for your approval drawings. Now these are going to be details of uh, like a standard size door, vision door, half glass, a three-sided frame, things like that. So to do that, you want to open up your door schedule, and as you're entering your uh, door schedule details, you'll notice you have a couple fields on here called elevation for the doors, and you also have elevation for the frames. So determine what letter, number, or whatever you want to use to designate each type of door and frame. For example, a flush door might be elevation A, or it could be elevation F, or it could be elevation 1. However you want to do it is strictly up to you. And the same with the frames. Three-sided frame might be elevation C or D or F or 5, 6, or 7. So however you want to designate each one of these items. And then once you've entered your door schedule, you can come over here. There's a new tab called Elevation Details. And this, let me just check these back. This is where you can see you have just standard type doors and frames: a flush door, vision, half glass, full glass, bottom louver, three-sided frame, side light, transom, and a borrowed light. And you've got some fields here that can be filled in. You have check boxes here that determine whether or not you want these drawings to show up in your approvals. So for example, you might not have any doors with louvers, so you'll leave that unchecked, and that will not show that drawing. I'll leave it checked so I can show you what they all look like. And once you get all your information entered, you can see on a flush door, all you have is the elevation designation. On a vision door, you have the elevation, plus you have the width and height of the vision light itself, and a brief description of the type of glass. And the same way with the half glass door, you have the elevation, width, height, and glass. And you notice in the width, I put door width less 12 inches. You can do something like that if you have various size doors, maybe a 3.0 and also a 2'8" or maybe a 4-foot door, could all have a half glass window in them. So instead of creating a separate drawing for each one, you just put door width less 12 inches. So that kind of designates that each rail would be 6 inches on each side. And same way with the full glass, but again on the full glass height, if you have various height doors that have a full glass, you can do the same thing. You can do door height less maybe a 12-inch bottom rail and a 6-inch top rail, so that would be less 18 inches. So you have a little bit of leadway in different ways you can set it up. And of course on a three-sided frame, you have the elevation, then you have the jamb depth, the jamb face and the head face. Side light frame, you have the jamb face, the mullion face, a head face, the sill, you can see that's 4 inches, could be 8 inches, 6 inches, whatever. And then the glass width and height. And then of course the glass description. The same with the transom frame. Of course on a transom frame you don't have a sill. And then a borrowed light, you have the jamb, the head, glass width, and height. Now I'll show you in a bit. You can add custom type drawings. Maybe you've got a side light frame with 4 lights. I'll show you that in just a bit on how to get those into your approvals. So once you get all the information entered here, click Save Elevations, and it'll save all this information so that every time you pull it up, you don't have to re-enter this data. Now once I have this information entered, if I come over and I click on the door schedule to get a view of what it's going to look like, it'll generate my approvals. And if you notice, if I there's my flush door, there's the vision door with the B elevation, there's the half glass, which is C, full glass, which is D. And you notice the detail seems to be missing part of the line here. Once you export it into a PDF file, those lines will be complete. For whatever reason, they're not showing completed in my on screen. So that's full glass. There's a bottom louver. There's a three-sided frame. There's a sidelight frame. You can notice I have the face dimensions here. There's the transom frame and a borrowed light. So those are just standard drawings that you can include, so you don't have to bother creating those every time you make your drawings. But you also have the option, like I said, of adding additional drawings to this. So if I go to the next page, you can see it starts on my door schedule. So what I've done is I've created a, let me open it up here. I've created a sidelight frame with 4 lights. You can see it here with all the dimensions, and a program called SketchUp. And I want to get this entered. I've called this elevation K, so I want to get this entered into my approval drawings. If I open my approval drawings, after I've exported them out, you can see I don't have there's the borrowed light, but I don't have the sidelight frame in here yet. So in order to get that in, you'll need to use a third-party program. Program that I use a lot is one, it's called Nitro PDF Professional. There are other ones like PDF Fusion, or even Adobe Acrobat itself if you want to purchase that program. But you'll need some kind of a program that's capable of editing PDF files. So if I open up this door schedule and this program called Nitro PDF, that's this program right here, you can see this is the door schedule. And you can see down here I've got, this shows my page numbers. I'm at 2 of 14. If I go all the way to that borrowed light right here, that's page 12. So you can see if I go to the next page, it starts my door schedule. So what I want to do is enter that 4 light sidelight drawing I made after this page here. So in this particular program, now this is going to be different for you depending on what program you use, but this is how PDF Nitro works. I come over and I click on Insert. Now I want to go to that drawing that I created. And that's down here under SketchUp, right there. And I want to tell it, I want to insert it after page 12. I'll click Insert. And now if you can see, if I go to my next page in this drawing, there it is on page 13. And then it starts my door schedule. So now I've inserted an additional drawing into my approvals. And then from here I would just click on save, or yeah, I want to save it as a new file, which I've already done, so I'm not going to do it. And if I open up the PDF file now, here, there's my sidelight frame, and then it starts the door schedule. So that's how you can do this. And again, like I said, cancel that. You have, and again, in the elevation details, just some standard size frames, and show you how easy it is. If I don't want any of these other frames, maybe I only have a flush door and a vision door that I want to show. If I uncheck all these boxes and then click on door schedule, there's a flush door, there's a vision door, and then my door schedule. So that's how simple it is to add or remove some of these. These are, again, just standard drawings. Kind of help save you some time on generating them every time you do approvals. So that should do it. That covers it. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to call the office at any time. We'll answer any questions you may have. Thank you.